we might do.
Wait, you haven't seen me in like 3 months.
It was a tough 3 months.
Man, you never got like touch. No, never.
I was about to say some bullshit. Yo, I was gonna lie to her. I was about to lie to her. And right before I even started to lie, I felt like.
Oh, and then the little kid.
Yo, yeah, some little kid like, you need help. I'm like, I'm chilling, bro. Like, I'm fine.
Yeah, I'll bring you down with me, bro.
Yeah.
To be honest.
And then I'm getting really busy. I was like, why aren't you all with your families?
A lot of people.
Yeah, a lot of people don't.
True.
Yo,
whoa. Unless you were gonna say a lot of people like went to dinner early.
Yo,
and you were like, just don't have it. A lot of people are orphans.
Hola Mi Gente, we're back again on another episode of
Raices NYC. And on this episode, we have
ARRI VEGA. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yes, ARRI VEGA. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I am a producer day to day in advertising, post production. Right now, specifically, mainly in animation and design. That's kind of what is like my go-to day to day work. And then I'm also
Wait, hold up, animation?
Yeah.
Like what type?
Like advertising, brand stuff.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like, I don't know if you see like, if you go into the Apple store and you see like the AirPods all moving like that,
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that.
What?
Not like cartoons or anything.
Oh,
yeah.
well, yeah, I thought cartoons
But,
in the beginning. But
nah.
still, that's crazy.
Yeah.
My face, like, oh.
Yeah. But yeah, producing, doing that stuff mainly within advertising industry,
Yeah.
like agencies. And then on the side, I also DJ here locally in New York whenever I can.
Wow. So, like, what got you into doing, like, the animation and all of that?
Yeah, so I'm originally from the San Francisco Bay Area. I was born there, and then I went to film school in LA.
Okay.
Stayed in LA for 10 years, and through that, I kind of worked my way up into film industry production. Kind of moved into documentary film, and then I kind of moved into advertising at an advertising agency. From then, it was kind of doing mainly like shoots and editing, which is like kind of the basic, not basic, like the kind of more kind of that you see most production companies doing. It's like film that you edit it. And then I was with the studio for a long time in LA, and they started. Basically, we had a client that we started to like pitch new ideas and we're like, how can you make this more exciting, more current? Because it was like an old cable company. It was DirecTV. And we were like,
okay.
And we were like,
I had DirecTV. Everyone had DirecTV at one point. You had DirecTV?
No, I did not.
Oh,
damn.
I think it's a New York thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we started doing 3D animation. And then since then, that kind of like put me into that world. That's kind of what I've stayed with recently.
Wow. Okay. That's really cool. Look at that. That's
Did
mad.
Did you go to school for that, or are you just like you self-taught?
I went to film school. I did like an emphasis on editing and production. So I learned to like shoot stuff, and then I learned to use editing softwares, but nothing really relating to producing or production management. That I just kind of learned because one of my first jobs in LA was being a personal assistant to this exec producer director guy. And just out of the sake of him being cheap and not wanting to hire a producer or coordinator on shoots that he was like, you're just going to do it. And I was like, okay, I'll figure it out, I guess. I was like 21, 22, and I was like,
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Okay.
So I just, and then also like, I mean, it's not like figure it out. He also was like giving me pointers and kind of teaching me. He was like a good mentor. That kind of threw me into producing, production management. Because originally I wanted to be like on camera department. I wanted to be like a director of photography. I worked a few sets in camera department, and then I was like, I don't know that I want to continue this. And then I really liked producing, and I was like, I'm gonna just keep doing this.
What was the major difference that made you want to go back into?
I think there was a point where I like would meet other people in camera department. They were like super techie and like knew all the gear and knew everything, and I was just like, I don't know that much about it, and I'm not like as excited to keep learning about it.
Yeah.
So I was like, there's people that are way better than me at this. Like, I'm not gonna keep driving this. And then I found enjoyment in the other thing. I was like, oh, I like this. This is cool. And I'll just run with it.
Yeah,
Oh,
and I
wow.
think too, probably like when you started it, because this was a while ago, like the film industry and advertising, all of that was kind of basically at a baby stage, I would say, where there weren't as many programs and like all this tech stuff compared to now. What would you say is like the major difference between back then and now?
Back then, coming from someone who like had no connections in the industry, I didn't have anyone. You know, my parents were immigrants from Mexico City. When I told them I wanted to do film, they were kind of like, okay, like as long as it gets you, like they were like, you can go to college for it, so go for it, because we just want you to get a degree. They didn't know, and I just kind of jumped in trying to get anything that I could. And back then it was very much, you know, you worked your way up, you know, you got, it's still similar to this way. But back then it was very much more traditional in that you got an internship, or you started just being an assistant on a set. From then you worked your way up through every department, depending on which one you wanted to go. You did that. Now there's, and at the time it was a lot more like there was big companies and everybody wanted to work at one of them, or like the studios. I think now, because it is in a way a little bit more affordable to shoot things now. Like back then you had to, you know, rent everything. It was really, really expensive. Yeah. Now you're able to buy a 4K camera for $1,000, $2,000 from Sony, and like somebody could pick something up and shoot something. Yeah. So now there is a lot more smaller studios, smaller companies. There's definitely a lot of different ways to go. And even now with like the boom of like everybody is shopping online. Yeah. Everyone shops online. Everybody's starting a brand. People, it's more accessible. You know, even clothing, you know, you start a clothing brand, that's more accessible for everyone. Everyone needs content at some point. So there's a lot more opportunities for smaller things like that to happen. Then at the time it was like, yeah, you aim to go work at either one of the big studios, or you aim to work at one big production company that like handled 10 big clients, you know. So it's changed a lot in the sense of like that. And then also like content creation is like now a thing, and there's jobs now that shoot specifically for TikTok or iPhone.
Yeah. There's a lot of opportunities now, you know, that were just created.
Yeah.
Things that we never even thought of beforehand. And I guess, you know, just through time and that, you know, not much accessibility is what created all of this, you know, with content creating, you know, everyone having like their own production team, whether it's small things. Literally, you could have you could record something just with a phone.
Right.
And all of that.
To
be fun fact.
Yeah. No, I mean, even things like this, it's like you can now pick up gear to record a podcast, and you know, without having to go and get this insane studio or get all this expensive gear and get this huge mixing board, that you can now do it all from your phone essentially, or anything. And I think that's, again, more accessible, and it gives people voices that wouldn't necessarily have had that voice prior.
Would you say now there's no excuse to anything, you know, because everything's just accessible? It's just up to you. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yes and no. I think everything's accessible, but with that allows also like a bit too much of like, sometimes you can be like, I want to do everything, and I want to do all these things at one time. When I think at the same time it is important to lock into something and be really good at that one thing.
Yeah.
Sure, you can do things on the side. Yeah. But at the end of the day, you want people to know you for some set of skills or some voice or some direction that you have, and as long as that's genuine and authentic, focus on that. Then the other things around will follow, and you know.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know, you mentioned that you also DJ. What got you into that? I know you as DJ ARRI. DJ ARRI VEGA. Like,
No, so funny.
Now
story.
also as
you gotta do the double R though. You gotta roll the R.
ARRI. And
go.
also, I know you as DJ ARRI and also former model for Contempo. Anyway, 2025.
Yeah, sometimes model. No, I think what was it, DJing? So
he got stuck on the model. It was so amazing. Like seeing you just told me. Like,
actually, let's do the model.
How
did you think? What did you think of like when we told you can you model for Contempo, and then actually like walk the runway?
Oh, dude, I was like,
and the practice too.
I was nervous. I was like, "There's no way." I was like,
"There's no way you were nervous."
You were nervous.
I've never done like walking in a runway thing.
What?
Yeah.
So we were your first.
Yeah, straight up.
Crazy. It's okay.
No, but yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I've done like stills shoots before, and I've done stuff like that. And then so I was like, cool. But then when I was like walking, I was like, oh my god.
No, yeah.
But I'm glad I did it, and I met so many cool people. And I
Yeah.
was also like, I just moved to New York. Well, who cares? Nobody knows me here. Like, what do I have to lose?
Yeah.
Versus like doing it somewhere where like, you know, I don't know, I know everybody. I was like, literally none of people know me. So like, what does it matter? As long as I don't fall. If I
Yo,
fall,
I don't know.
I'll move out.
What do you think of the practicing process too? Was it what you expected, or were you just like, whoa, like I've been repeating the steps?
It wasn't what I expected, but I think it was necessary given the routines and the choreography that we kind of had.
I'm very serious about my choreography.
Yeah.
I hope if you.
I think if we
were
were just
aware.
walking, it'd be easier to just say, all right, guys, just walk. But like because
Yeah.
you're doing everything like that, I was like, yeah, this makes sense this way. And then like it took us like a couple times to get it down too. So
Yeah. I think it was necessary just so that you guys were more comfortable doing it. And on the day of, you guys did it beautifully.
Yeah.
Walked it.
it was fun. Good time.
No, yeah,
The
and
after
also
party was great.
afterward.
So fun.
No, yeah,
So
and
fun.
I just love too that all of you guys got to know each other and just got to know that you guys live around close by too.
Yeah.
And just making friends, and I feel like this is what I always like to create the bondage between everyone, especially through the practices too, because all you guys are nervous. Everyone is nervous, been going through it and not
Yeah.
messing up. So it's just nice, especially being in the back room. It's just like chatting and getting ready.
Yeah.
They're in the back
Fun.
talking shit
Yeah.
about Julio, like, oh, this guy.
This guy, bro. Like, who we think he is? Like, why he getting mad? What?
Bro, you know how many people responded to like my socials that I posted and were like, yo, where is this? Are you in Mexico? I was like, bro, this is New York, this is Brooklyn. They're like,
This is a fucking brick.
I know, they're like, damn, for real? There's like raza out there? I was like, bro, what are you talking about? I was like, yeah.
Yo,
like,
like,
a lot of people
I
from
love
California.
that.
Who was in
Like,
charge of like this
Don't
little dude?
know. So many people like from California.
Yeah,
were
yeah.
Like, damn, for real?
No
Like,
way.
yeah. And I was like, yeah, bro.
I love that because I think that's one thing where like a lot of people think of New York and they're like, literally people tell me like, oh, there's no Mexicans in New York, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, we're literally here, and we try to create these spaces, not just for Mexicans but also Latinos, Hispanos, but mostly just for you guys to feel comfortable, like meet new people, talk, and that's literally what happened.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about back to DJing though? How did you get started in DJing?
Hold up. Before we get to DJ, hold up. No, you said like you were nervous when you walked out and you saw all those people already with their phones out looking at you. How was that?
Oh yeah.
Because
I feel like I blacked out. I was just like,
Yo, because that's what
I was
wanted
just
to
like,
know.
let me focus on walking slow and like my posture. Because I'm like,
Got you.
because I was just trying to make sure I wasn't slouching. I was like, let me just walk right
Mhm.
and don't fall. But it was just, the main thing was walking slow.
Yeah,
Because I think because I'm taller, I like walk real fast. So I was just like going real slow. And then the whole time I was like, I feel like I'm walking way too slow.
No,
But it wasn't.
Yeah.
you weren't.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but it was cool. And then like the feeling, the rush of like finishing it and then like walking back in there and just feeling like, hell yeah, I did it. Because I don't know, as we get older, I feel like you lose some of those moments. I think when you're a kid, you obviously you do those things, you perform, you do things in school that make you nervous, or you do a presentation or something. And as you get older, I feel like those things don't happen as often.
Yeah.
So it was cool to have that like mini high after, like, yeah, I did that.
Yeah. And then the final walkthrough, everybody like goes together.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Okay, now.
Actually, let's
Oh.
go.
Go.
Because you had touched on like you're actually from the Bay Area, right?
Correct.
So how was that transition being from the Bay Area to New York?
Like I grew up in the Bay Area before the whole like tech social media boom that happened there. So when I was there, a lot of friends and everything, a lot of Latinos, a lot of Polynesians around. That was super cool. I went to a high school that was like predominantly Latinos, Mexicans, and Salvadorians, Guatemalans. Yeah. So that was super cool. I really enjoyed that. And then I lived in LA for 10 years. And that was kind of obviously different because it's North, South California. But the similar aspect of like, there was a lot of Latinos around. I was around a lot of Mexicans and everything. And then moving to New York, obviously the big thing is the weather. That's like a huge change. But when I first moved here, I had a 1-bed apartment in Lower East Side. And I was on a street where there was a lot of Dominicans, and there was some culture there too. But I hadn't realized that I would miss that, being around like a panaderia or like a taquero outside, things like that, because you're so used to it always being a part of your environment, your surroundings.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, man, like I really like I'm trying to find some other people out here that are Mexican, Mexican American.
Yeah.
Literally how I met you guys. And
Oh
like,
yeah,
It
you
was
saw
in
us
the park.
on social media.
yeah, I saw you on social media, and I was like, wait, these dudes are they're in
I
Brooklyn.
know this little one.
I know this little.
And then I went to that party solo because I was like, I just want to go because like one, I haven't heard cumbia since I've been out here. So I
Yeah.
wanted to. And then I went and I saw you guys, and I literally was just like, yo, what's up, dude?
Yeah, I'm like,
Who?
what's up?
Yeah, you were trying to cool
Yeah.
at me.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, cool. Like, what's up? And I'm like, Ari, like, it was because literally it was weird because that moment or two we met another person that now we're friends with. So it was like a very moment that night too. And we went that day just to distress because we would just been like had a lot of things to do. We did. So we were just that whole night. I don't know. It was so packed. We didn't stop
But
dancing.
it
It
was
was
nice.
so
Oh
hard.
my
This was
god,
good.
that place was so hot though. Oh my
It was.
God.
Yo, nah.
It's kind of fun though when it's in a small packed area though because it feels
Yeah.
more like
Yo, trust me.
versus like really spread out.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know
It's
how
more
we didn't
intimate.
stop
Mhm.
dancing. Like it was just
Yeah,
nonstop.
no, that was nonstop. But mind you, like we weren't tired after.
No.
Like we were good.
Yo, we were just distressing. I won't be honest.
Yeah, to be honest.
And it was cool though the chat too, cause but at the moment I'm like, then we were like, where you at? And then you were just all the way on the other side. Could have just stayed.
They just stood there.
Yeah, just been like, yeah.
No,
I mean,
chat
you were
it up,
you were
like,
you were studying over the. So what was the difference? You were studying over there.
Well, I also didn't want to be like, hey, and then just linger. Like I was like, let me y'all have your as well.
Our time.
Yeah.
Nah, it's cool. I get it. Yeah. We were studying.
Nah, it's always awkward.
But
meeting
who
new
would've known?
people.
And then now look at us.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know, yeah.
It's
If you
all
would've
stems
known-
from just trying to find the community and
Nah, yeah.
that.
Yeah, and obviously, like being in Elias, like that's predominantly Puerto Rican, Dominican. You don't pretty much see any Mexicans around there. We don't really hold any spaces for our community there either. We're kind of more like down here, Brooklyn, Sunset Park, Bushwick, all of that. But what did you think of like when you finally found like these places where like, oh shit, now like I'm around community again. Like now I see like I hear Spanish. Like where are my people? You know?
No, it was one just made me super happy. It was like I feel really good being around this. It's familiar. It reminded me of home, whether that's LA or the Bay Area or even just being around family. That's kind of what it reminded me of. But even little things is like hearing Mexican slang that you don't hear. I remember I went to Jackson Heights and I went to get some mariscos at that spot. And I was
Submarino.
yeah.
Ugh,
And then I remember just like
Yeah.
talking to the server in Spanish, and
Yeah.
everyone there was Mexican. And I was just like, this is so nice. And then the food was obviously amazing,
Ugh,
but
yeah,
but just
so
being in that environment, I was just like, it was so refreshing. I
You're
was
like,
cool.
now we're back.
Now we're back. yeah. It's just
But yeah,
heartwarming.
so you touched upon DJing, right?
Oh, yeah,
How
right
did
now I'm
you
DJing.
start DJing?
Yeah, so I wasn't even. It was really random. I went to school in LA, specifically Long Beach, film school. I did my second year there. The summer after, I had an old coworker that was like, "Hey, I'm the manager at the shop. I can give you a job if you want to come back for the summer." I was like, "Yeah, why not? I'll come back. I'll make some money." I went back, and a good friend of mine was like, "Hey, I actually started learning how to DJ. I just got some new gear. Do you want my old one?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." I mean, it's like moving back to the Bay. I didn't really I had a couple homies there, but like I was working a lot. So I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" He gave me the gear. I literally just practiced every day for the summer. Basically learned in the summer. Came back to LA when I was in college, and then immediately just started doing the whole DJing the college parties. That turned into DJing the bars in the area. Then when I lived into LA proper, I started DJing at bars there. Same thing, parties. And it just kind of kept going, and I never really put it down. There was a moment where I took a break for about a year and a half, but it was because I was bartending, or not bartending, I was DJing like 2-3 days a week at a bar, and it started feeling like a job, and I was like, I'm getting kind of over this. And then it was also like when you're DJing at a bar, they do like give you free drinks, and then you're like, okay, now I feel horrible because I drank for 4 days in a row.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like,
It's bad.
and then like every week you're doing that, and then I'm like, okay, now I just feel like this isn't healthy. So that kind of made me stop for a bit. And then I picked it back up and then been doing it ever since.
Oh, so you never left it since college, basically.
No. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
is that the deck? Is that the same one that your friend had given you?
No. That was an older, tiny little piece of junk that I had, but it worked. It taught me everything.
Vintage.
Vintage. Yeah, they don't even make it anymore.
Yeah, vintage.
They don't even make it anymore. Yeah.
Vintage.
So yeah, I mean that was like 10 years ago. So I've been DJing for a long time. And then recently in New York, when I moved here, one of the first things I did was going to an open decks event, which was kind of like an open mic where people go in and do that. Ended up meeting a really good friend there. He DJs, and I'm just literally just trying to play out anywhere I could. I played at an open decks one time, and then this other guy that I met was like, "Hey, you want to play here?" And it just kind of started like that again.
Nice.
Oh wow. Okay. Where do you feel like you want to go to also like this year with your DJing? Would you want to like expand more in it?
I would really. So now I'm like really focusing on vinyl, only playing records.
Yeah, that shit's
I
dope.
love
Yeah.
that,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's really dope. Yeah.
I've been really trying to focus in on that. I think there's something more valuable and tangible about putting like a tangible record on. There's some records that have never been released digitally, so people don't know like you can't look it up. And then I just think you really have to tell a story, and you really have to like put together a solid collection when you play out. And I think again, it's like takes a lot of effort. That takes time outside of just being on a computer downloading music. It takes time. You have to go places. You meet people in the community. You figure out who are selling records. You. So I want to continue doing that mainly, and then hopefully get booked to play a little bit more curated events, more very music forward. I have a couple gigs right now that are just kind of like a bar gig, which is cool, but like
it gets paid. But
it's like sometimes it's literally just you're playing records in a corner of a bar and nobody really cares about what you are, or you just background music.
That's true.
So I'd love to do more stuff where it's like people are going to hear the music and dance and like do more things like that.
Interesting. So what happened? Yeah, we'll talk later.
Yeah.
If you know, you know.
Yeah.
But you've done a lot. Like in these 10 years, what would you say has been your favorite place to DJ or event that you've done? Con tiempo.
Well, you know what's okay. So con tiempo, I'm honestly gonna say New York has been probably the most rewarding because again I moved here. I'm almost been in here for a year. Next month it'll be a year.
Oh wow. Okay. Oh.
Yeah. So like before I even moved here, I was like, I hope I can like find somewhere to let me DJ. Obviously, it's like I surpassed that goal, and like now I'm getting people who just want to hear me play records and stuff. But there was a time where, so growing up, like love Mexican music, always cumbia, everything was great. But there was a time where I was like, you kind of second guess yourself, and you're like, well, I don't know if the crowd's really gonna fuck with cumbia. I don't know if the crowd's gonna fuck with Latin music. You're playing. I love house music. I love electronic stuff. I love other stuff, but at the time, I had this kind of like, well, I listen to cumbia like privately or with some homies, but like I don't know, I just probably would never play it out because I don't think people would vibe or something,
You'd be dancing with the scope on in your room.
Yeah, for real, straight up.
Yeah.
And then I got to a point where I was like, you know what, like I don't care anymore. Like if this is genuinely, authentically me, what I want to play, and I like this, like that's gonna show through the music. And if people don't like it, they can leave. But I'm sure some people are gonna fuck with it.
Yeah.
All this being said, is what I'm saying this is because when you guys asked me to DJ con tiempo, I was so hyped because I was like, I can play so much cumbia.
No, yeah, I remember too when he
Yeah.
talked about vinyl. I really loved how much you appreciate it. And you were showing me like the vinyls that you had. I was like, yo, dude, because I love music and I love especially like old style and vinyl. So I was just like, yo, when just seeing your expression and the feels, I'm like, I loved it. I was very
I
excited.
know. You got to play at the beginning of the show as everybody was getting ready, but we were also like running around, so I didn't get to like actually like sit down and appreciate and listen.
Yeah.
But I would love to another time. But I just did see like for a short time like the records that you were playing and like seeing how like you had the whole vinyl and that was crazy to see because normally like you don't see that often.
Yeah.
But what in general, right now we're in 2026. What are your goals for this year?
Also this year,
The year of the horse.
True. The year of the horse.
The year of the horse.
Continue playing places selectively that I can bring my true authentic self to play records at.
Yeah.
Continue to do that. I'm playing at Eavesdrop, which is a vinyl listening bar in Greenpoint next month
Wow.
on the 21st. And they're very much so like you go there, you sit and you listen to the records that are being played. It's not like it's very much a listening room.
Okay.
So I'm really excited about that because I also, when I reached out for the booking, I took the time to record a full mix, all vinyl. And I was like, this is who I am essentially as a DJ. And I played some newer house music, electronic stuff. I had a whole like hour-long section of cumbia records.
Oh shit.
And then I had like my 80s synth high energy dance stuff that I also love playing.
Beautiful.
And I was like, this is me. This is entirely me in a mix. And I've gotten some like negative responses to those mixes to some places. And then Eavesdrop was like, would love to have you come play. And I was like, that's
Oh
cool.
my God.
So it's cool when you put out, you're like, this is everything I want to play. And it's well received. So
watch out on the 21st.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We'll be there.
I'll be there.
So yeah, continuing that, honestly, work on some more music. I also produce on the side, some like electronic stuff, just like in Ableton. So work on a couple more stuff that I can release hopefully at some point. And then that's DJing, I think, mainly, yeah, the goals.
What?
Oh, all right. How do you doing a lot? You're doing a lot. We
Yeah,
love it. We love it.
We love it. A spooky story, right?
Oh, you don't have a spooky story, right? Any
All right,
plan?
no.
You never got like touched? No, never.
No.
Fun. I mean,
I had sleep paralysis the other day, though. That was crazy.
what?